Alright, the third raid we're going to talk about is more complicated than the Rick DS2 and the Hamrabi combined, honestly. It's the S Gundam. This is a more difficult suit. I will try to make it short and sweet though. The S Gundam is not a suit that I recommend personally, especially if you're trying something new, but if you're interested in starting to try it, might as well keep watching. It has maneuver armor 3, just like the other two raids. It has damage control 2. This means that when it's in motion, it is more stagger resistant than even the Zaku 3. The Zaku 3 can't even stun it in one go with its waist cannon, because it only does 160. The combination of maneuver armor and DC2 means that the opponent has to reach 160%, but every single hit is reduced by 70%. So I think the calculation is something like 160 divided by 0.7. So you have to reach like 230% stagger in order to get this thing to stop moving, stop boosting. It has the heavy attack level 2, which means that it has the heavy attack, of course, but also the heavy attack, while you're doing it, you take 30% less damage, and you take 35% less stagger when you're also doing the attack. It ignores buffers, which is very strong, and it pierces enemy shields, which means that it'll pierce things like the Gundam shield, it'll pierce the Zeta has a shield, the Zeta plus A2 has a shield, the full Burnin has a shield. A lot of generals have shields, and a lot of supports also have shield at this cost, so this is really good. It has only one evade, and it's the only suit that we're going to go over today that has flap booster, which allows you to go from ground to air. Instead of having to jump, you can just flap instead. It has a thruster gauge issue because of flap booster. It doesn't have flexible thruster like the GBO2s, but when it goes under the Alice system, which is its comeback mechanic, it gains 50% less thruster consumption. So after it goes below 50% HP, it gets a lot better. The Alice ability boost increases its walk speed by 15, increases its HSM by 15, it increases its turning speed by 15, it gives it 100% strength in all directions, it gives you evasion level 3 instead of level 1, so you can double dodge roll. All your weapons have 50% less lock-on time and charging time, and like you said, we have the 50% less thruster. So the S Gundam is pretty good at making a comeback. It's stronger. The longer you can hang on to your life under 50% HP, the better. I didn't go over it in the weapons menu, but the S Gundam has 2 options for beam rifles. One that you have to buy from the store, one that it comes with. The regular beam rifle is an 80% heat rate weapon it's just a stagger. It's not that great. What we have here is the S Gundam rapid fire beam rifle. It is incredible. Every shot is only 10% heat rate, and it shoots 5 times per burst, each for 25%. So each burst does 125% heat. 2 volleys is enough to stagger even the Palace Athene, and of course 2 volleys will also 1.5 volleys will stagger the Zaku 3. This is probably the best stagger accumulation we've seen so far, and it doesn't overheat the weapon. You can also still charge it too. You can still charge it for an instant stagger, which does some decent damage, has high range, and it does 70% stagger rating.
There are 3 mobile suit categories. Each has its own role in combat.
The double beam cannon on your back does a stagger, and it does 20 plus 20, or 20 times 2. It's an instant stagger, and it's decent. You know, it is your instant stagger. It's the only instant stagger that this suit has if you don't charge your smart gun. So you'll need it if you want to keep your combo going. The waist cannon shoots. It shoots 25 times 2, and you can shoot up to 3 times, which means that this is no good at stunning anything with DC2. You will not be able to stun the S Gundam itself. You will not be able to stun the S Gundam or the Palace Athene with this, or the Zaku. But this is really good at stunning anything else, like this DJ here. Another interesting thing about this gun is that it triggers flinch, which means it'll interrupt people trying to fire at you. So you can kind of win wars with it. I wouldn't recommend it though. It's good at follow-up damage, doing follow-up damage, and it's good at continuing. It's good at getting stagger accumulation if you don't want to overheat your beam smart gun, like this. The last gun besides the Vulcan it has is the Incom, which is, well, it is what it is. It's a lock-on Incom. On full hit, it'll do 100. However, these Incoms are dumb. These Incoms, unfortunately, can sometimes miss the target because the way they fire and the distance they fire from vary from place to place. You saw it miss one of its shots on the DJ just now. 1, 2, 3. On full hit, it does 100, which means that it's good at staggering, well, 105, which means that it's good at staggering generals that don't have any DC, and it's good at staggering any supports that don't have DC as well. You're going to mostly use this to finish off enemy suits or to poke at supports from behind cover. You can use another gun to finish that build stagger. The last thing it has is a Vulcan gun, which is, it's just okay. It does 6%. The fire rate's fine. You can use this. This is your only option to stagger something while you're boosting, so make sure to use it.
Use your radar to monitor your surroundings, spot lurking enemies, and avoid any nasty surprises.
Let's talk about the sabers now. We only have a 2-hit combo. The single saber's downswing reaches far away, so it's good at confirming. It's good at confirming combos.
Holding the front line is easier if you can capture a nearby beacon.
The double beam saber has the heavy attack, of course. Now, just because the suit has a heavy attack doesn't mean you should always go for it. The double beam saber's downswing is 180%, which is pretty good. It's actually not as much as some of the generals we've been talking about, but it's still quite strong. Like with all suits that have a double melee, you can go for infinite. For doing side, neutral, side, neutral, side, neutral, side, neutral, side, downswing. You know, you can do whatever you want. Now, let's talk about the heavy attack. It is a fast heavy attack. The initial slash comes out quite quickly. And it does 360%, which is obviously the highest we've seen so far because it's a heavy attack. Let's talk about strategies when it comes to this. Just like before, when you want to land a heavy attack and you communicate with your team, help them out by initiating the first couple staggers, and then leave it to them to get the rest of them. Say I call a target out and I stagger it twice with my gun, then it'll panic and it'll exhaust all of its rolls while some other suit gets a stagger. As soon as I confirm that I got shot and is flinching, just go for it. And of course you can do a beam saber double swing afterwards. You get the heavy attack, so you get a little bit more for your bang for your buck. It's not just a heavy attack you're getting a melee combo afterwards. Let's talk about flat boosters real quick. So flat boosters allow you to get to elevated areas more quickly, of course they do. However, this suit can't really use it in a sustainable way. It cannot fly around the map infinitely. While it's not under Alice system, just use it to get on top of things quickly and maybe make surprise attacks. Like say this guy over here was expecting me to go around this corner. Instead, something like that would be more possible. Obviously, you can use it to get on top of buildings without jumping. So like if you want to get on top of this building right here, which is a pretty good spot to poke at things, you have that. This building right here also. Don't have to jump to get to it. It's great. Final thing we'll talk about is the Alice system. So under Alice system, like I said before, we get more walking speed, more boosting speed, faster turn speed, faster focus time on our weapons, and triple level 3 evasion, which means double dodge roll, and even a roll and then some, if you want to take it that direction. Another thing that happens is, well, I guess that doesn't work. Another thing that happens is your thruster consumption gets much lower, so you can fly around the map quite well and maneuver around as you please with the S Gundam, as long as you're under Alice system. And once you're under the Alice system's effects, you can do a lot of sneaky heavy attacks. I'm not saying go for raw heavy attack, but the fact that you have this amount of boosting capacity means that you can just kind of fly in from an angle that they're not expecting, like behind them, and get a heavy attack. You know, just not for free per se, but pretty close to it. After all, if you're behind somebody, they can't tackle you. What are they gonna do? They can only tackle something. You can only tackle something that is in front of you. I guess that's it for the heavy Gundam. It's not the heavy Gundam, the S Gundam. Use the rapid fire beam smart gun to accumulate a lot of stagger. Chain with a double beam cannon afterwards. Use the double beam cannon to follow up and do extra damage, or as a replacement for your beam smart gun. Be mindful that the incom doesn't always hit all of its hits. Use it to finish off low HP enemies. Use the Vulcan gun while boosting to stay stagger resistant while you go for a combo. Be mindful of your heavy attack. Let your teammates know when you want to use it or when the opportunity is there to use it. They can do something like chain staggers with you. They can also do something like this. Remember we talked about this? Then layer a tackle on top of it. The only way to preemptively chain a stagger is with the tackle. And try and stay alive long enough for you to activate the Alice system so that you can have more freedom with the air, get to do all this shit with one bar, and land even more heavy attacks. It's a fun suit. It has a lot of stagger resistance while it's moving, so stay in motion. And make sure you don't immediately die. Just take pokes instead. That way you won't have to worry about instantly dying. Bulk up your defenses in your build, and wait for Alice system to activate before you can really let the S Gundam go wild.